Hello friends, I've made a video about this power supply. I repaired it. I replaced a power coil from 12 volts rail, and I thought that was a design problem. After some hours of testing, I've noticed that this power supply has a second design problem. Let me show you. Now my PC is working, but as you can see, the fan of the power supply is not rotating. There is no problem with the fan because from time to time the fan is moving. I think the problem is with the place when this temperature sensor is located, because it's not located on the hottest spot. Now let me take the power supply out and show you. So in my previous video I replaced this coil, and I thought that the design error number one was that old coil was undersized, and that's why I replaced with thicker wires. But after I put it back here, I put some hot glue to see if it's melting or not. And as you can see, now there isn't hot glue anymore because it was melted. That means that the temperature of this coil increased 100 degrees, and I've noticed that even this coil is very hot, the fan is not working. Now let me show you. So initially, the fact that the fan has to spin only when the temperature of inside it's very hot, this should be a feature, but now I think this is a bug, because the fan isn't spinning even if this coil has 100 degrees. Now let's measure the temperature of the coil and the temperature of this PCB with the rectifying MOSFETs. So the fan is making some test when you first start up. Now the temperature is increasing, and I've noticed even if the power supply is over half power consumption, fan it's not working, and the fan starts to work only if the power is over 60 or 70%. And as you can see, that's not enough for this coil. Now it's warm, but it's not hot. But this place with the sensor, it's colder, and the transformer, it's hot. This place is warm, and this plate, it's also warm. But this PCB, it's not warm at all. Now let's measure. The coil has 60 degrees. The coil has 17 degrees now. Transformer has 15 degrees now. This heatsink, first heatsink, second heatsink. So even it shows that yes, there is here resistor, it's very hot. You can see it's hot. Resistor, it's very hot, but the MOSFETs are not hot at all. So this heat is from this resistor. And this sensor, I believe it has 30 degrees. Let's open it up and find a solution. Now you can see this is the temperature sensor. Let's measure. It's a 10 kilo, and when I warm it, the value is increasing. So it's a PTC, 10 kilo positive temperature control. Now we have two solutions, simple solution and complicated solution. Simple solution is to move this sensor in a hotter place. Second solution is to lower the temperature of the fan spinning by modifying circuit of the sensor. First of all, let's try the simple solution. So I will move this sensor from this place near this coil. So let's do it. So I moved the position of the temperature sensor inside this coil, and it's not fixed, it's just temporary. Now let's see what happens. Let's start the power supply, and we have the load on. Now it's warm. The fan should start spinning. So the coil is 40 degrees and the fan is not spinning yet. Now let's make a test to see what is the temperature for the fan to start. So it seems the threshold of the temperature is 70 degrees. Now let's measure again the temperature of the coil. The coil has 50 degrees, 55 degrees. Let's put the sensor again next to the coil. So it seems moving the sensor is not enough, and we have to modify and we have to drop the starting temperature of the fan, the spinning fan. So I've raised the schematic of the control fan, and it's like something like this. This is actually an NTC 10 kilo, has a resistor to the ground and a resistor to the plus. And in order to decrease the temperature of fan start spinning, we have to increase the value of this resistor. And instead of 1.5 kilo, I will put 2 kilo to see if it's enough. So let's do it. So I've replaced this resistor with 2 kilo. Now let's make a test and see if it's working. Now I've put everything back, and now let's make a test. Let's turn the power on. It seems the value is not too much. Now let's wait to see an improvement. So I put temperature sensor here under the coil, and I put some epoxy so will not move. Now I will put back in my PC and I will make the final test. So I put this power supply in my PC and I made a lot of tests, but the fan is not spinning yet. So I will have a different approach. Now I will hit this sensor, and when the fan will start to spin, I will measure the voltage in this point. And after the sensor will be back to normal temperature, I will modify this resistor so I have the same voltage in this point. So let's do it. Now I've turned on the power supply. Let's measure the voltage on the sensor. This one is 12 volts and this one it's the other side. Now let's hit the sensor and let's see when the fan starts to spin. As you can see, the voltage is increasing. Now let's measure the temperature when the fan starts to spin. So the temperature has to be over 80 degrees. So we need 6.3 volts in this point so the fan starts to spin. Initially we had 1.5 volts, now we have 2 volts, but it's not enough. So I will modify, so we have here in this point 6 volts, and the fan will start to spin after the temperature will increase with 20 degrees. So in order to have in this point 6 volts, we have to modify this resistor at 10 kilo, and in idle the fan is not working. Now let's try to hit the sensor. No, it's not good because the fan starts to spin too soon, and I have to decrease the value of this resistor. I should put 7 kilos. So I've replaced it with 5 kilo. Now let's make another test. Now the voltage is 3.2 volts. Now let's hit the sensor to see what temperature starts the fan. So the fan starts to spin over 60 degrees and under 50 degrees it's stopping. Now it's perfect. Now let's put everything back and make another test with the PC. Now let's start again the PC. Now let's turn on for the second time. This one will be lucky. So annoying noise from the fan is gone. The fan has stopped. Now the PC is booting. Now I will run some programs and I will be back in few minutes. Now I am using my PC. It's not and it's taking, as you can see, 20-30% of the resources, and from time to time, now you can see the fan is working and when it's not needed we'll stop. For me this is a perfect balance from silent and cool. Now you can see resources. If I will use my PC to the max, then fan will spin to the maximum speed. Now I think this is perfect for me. Now start it again, and I bet that if I can use more than 50% of my CPU, then the speed will be maximum. Now I am using only 20-30% of my CPU. Now let's make the conclusions. So my advice for you, if you have a power supply like this and the fan is not spinning fast enough, I advise you to replace this resistor. And in my case I've replaced original 1.5 kilo with 5 kilo. And this is the perfect match for me. And in my case that's the perfect balance between cool and silent, because I want my power supply to be silent, but also I want my power supply to last as long as it can, 5-10 years, and not die in just 1 year like before to replace the coil. In the end of the video I will put the place of this resistor. If you have any questions, please put it in a comment. And if you made it so far, please give a big like and subscribe. Thanks for watching. Bye.